Level 3. Subtraction. We've looked at equations with multiplication and with addition. Hopefully you're getting the hang of those. Today we're going to add in subtraction. Make this the title on your next free page. After you've done that, close it up and concentrate. Few things to call back to mind. Been a little while. So these are the types of equations we solved so far. Things where the variable has something added and things where the variable has something multiplied. We have used a drawing strategy to do those. So like, for instance, this one we would do x and 20 equals 44. And we would figure out that that meant that x equals 24. We've also used the inverse operation strategy, where we write the equation down. What's happening to the variable? 20 is being added, so we subtract 20, and that gives us x equals 24 as well. Over here, drawing strategy, we didn't draw the 3. That's a little bit of a thing to get used to. Over here, we drew what's added to the x, but to draw 3x, that means x 3 times. So we drew that like that. And then 42 on the other side, and we would figure out what does each of these x's have to be for these two sides to match. So let's see if they were 15. 15 and 15 is 30, plus 15 would be 45, a bit too high. So I bet they are 14. And if x is 14, then I've got 42 on this side, 42 on this side, or can use the inverse operation strategy, where we say, okay, what's happening to x? X has 3 being multiplied, so we're going to do the inverse, which is to divide by 3. And that cancels and makes just 1x, and 42 divided by 3 is 14. So that's what we've done so far. Before we get into ones where x has something being subtracted from it, I need to remind you a bit about subtracting and adding, some things about subtracting and adding negatives. So first thing, just with regular numbers, when I taught you how to do, say, that, negative 3 minus 5, one of the strategies was just called add the opposite, which I'm going to be using today a good bit. So say, rather than subtracting 5, add the opposite of 5, and you'll get the same thing every time. And adding tends to be a bit easier with negative numbers than subtracting to get negative 8. So I'm going to be doing that here, this add the opposite. When you see subtraction, I'm going to switch it to add the opposite of the second number. All right, so let's do one. So x minus 4 equals 36. Let's figure it out. So first possibility, common sense probably works fine here. I bet you can say what number minus 4 is 36, and you can probably just look at it and know that x is going to be 40. I think that makes a ton of sense. So I still need you to learn these other, like I always say, these other two strategies, because eventually you're not going to be able to use the common sense strategy as these get more advanced. So visual gets weird. Let's draw the scale or the seesaw or the balance or whatever you want to call it. I can draw x, but I can't take 4. How do I draw taking 4 away from x? I don't have anything to take away. So what I like to do, and what I'm going to encourage you to do in the future levels, is rewrite it with add the opposite. Works great. So instead of x minus 4 is 36, I'm going to rewrite this as x plus the opposite of 4, x plus negative 4 equals 36. And the reason I want to do that is that I can draw. I know how to draw adding something. I don't know how to draw subtracting something. So I'm going to put a negative 4 here, x plus negative 4, and 36 here. So now my goal is to figure out what does that x have to be for there to be 36 on both sides. So the number I would combine with negative 4 to get 36 is positive 40. Positive 40 and negative 4, put those together, you get positive 36. So x equals positive 40, which matches what we knew it would. So that's the trick with the drawing strategy. Is here you've got to change the equation with add the opposite, because there's no way to draw taking away 4. Inverse operation strategy is going to work just like it always did. X minus 4 equals 36. What's happening to my variable? 4 is being subtracted from it, so the inverse of subtracting 4 is adding 4. So if I add 4 to both sides, x minus 4 plus 4 is just x, and 36 plus 4 is 40. So x equals 40, just like it did over there and over there. All right, check it. Always safe to check with substitution. Say if x minus 4 is supposed to be 36, let's substitution and make sure that if I put in 40 there, 40 minus 4 equals 36, and it does. Check. Smiley face. Yay. All right, let's do one together. Open up your math notebook to that page you marked, and let's figure out 52 equals x minus 18. Common sense? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's possible that you could look at that and just use some common sense to figure out what x is. Be my guest if you can. Just make sure you know how to do these other two strategies. If not, with subtraction, I do think the inverse operation strategy is easier. So I may do that first. 52 equals x, take away 18. Separate. All right, what is happening to x is how I start my inverse operation strategy. What's happening to it? Well, 18 is being subtracted from it. So I'm going to do the inverse of that, which is to add 18 back to it. So if I do x minus 18 plus 18, I'm only going to have x left on this side, and it's going to be very easy to tell the answer. But I've got to do that on both sides. If I add 18 here, I've also got to add 18 here. And now I'm ready. So x minus 18 plus 18 is just x. 52 plus 18, 2 plus 8 is 10. And 70. So it looks like x in this case is 70. All right, drawing strategy. This one's got a bit of a trick to it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the equation with add the opposite. I don't know how to draw 18 being taken away. I do know how to draw the opposite of 18, negative 18, being added. That I can draw. So I'm going to rewrite my equation as 52 equals x plus negative 18, because I do know how to draw something being added. So 52 equals x and a negative 18. Now all I've got to do is figure out what's this x have to be so that both sides have 52. I already know it from here, and it makes sense. If x equals 70, then 70 plus negative 18 is the same as 70 minus 18, which is how I'm going to check it, is in fact 52. All right, and as I said, I always check. Good habit to get into, let you know you're right. Just make sure that x take away 18. If you substitute in the answer you think is right, then we should find that 70 minus 18 equals 52, and it does. Check. Smiley face. Okay. All right. So folks, that is how you solve variable equations with adding in them. Hope that makes a ton of sense. If not, go back, give this another watch, and I'm sure it will. And then once you feel confident that you've got this and can use this example to do your you do together and your you do alone, you are ready to do so.